Hello and welcome. This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our Thursday update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia. And I am Fikradi Zodu. Stay with us. President Sahle-Work Zewde said defending Ethiopia's national interest in the international political and economic environment should be the utmost priority of the current diplomats of the country. And let's get more from Burhan Warkana.
In her message to diplomats receiving training at the Africa Leadership Excellence Academy, President Sahle-Work Zewde shared her vast experience in the field of diplomacy. During the occasion, she said diplomacy is a mission that requires skills and knowledge to safeguard the national interest even in difficult circumstances. Diplomats must always understand and take into account the geopolitical and regional situation in all their missions, she said, adding that they are expected to improve themselves with comprehensive knowledge to cope with the dynamic world and act accordingly. A State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Birtukan Ayano, on her part said, serving the people, safeguarding the national interest of the country, and enhancing the country's dignity through the work of diplomacy is a prerequisite for national development. Currently, new thinking and diplomacy are vital in order to effectively ensure the national interest of Ethiopia across the globe, the ambassador said, adding that the government is working towards realizing these goals by allocating adequate budget and empower diplomats at all levels. According to Birtukan, the government has been making the utmost efforts to fulfill its responsibilities of safeguarding the integrity and sovereignty of the country, as well as ensure the peace and security of the people. She also called on all pertinent actors to exert maximum efforts to make the reform being underway possible. She urged the diplomats to work together for a national and institutional change with the knowledge and understanding they gained from the training. The 10-day training program organized to Ethiopian diplomats across the world has completed. The training aims at transforming the overall diplomatic landscapes of the nation so as to enhance the national interest of Ethiopia in the international arena.
Some diplomats who received 10-day training said they will be able to work better in promoting Ethiopia's national interest at the international arena. Ababa Burhane will give us the detail.
The training provided by Ministry of Foreign Affairs to diplomats assigned across the world is expected to transform the overall diplomatic landscape of the nation and enhance the national interest of Ethiopia. Speaking to Ethiopian news agency, Beyene Gebremeskel, deputy head of mission at the Ethiopian embassy in the UK, said the training would enable them to be successful in the activities to promote the national interest of Ethiopia. He added that the training is part of the reform in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and designed to capacitate diplomats in their efforts to run their diplomatic activities by exactly knowing the realities and current situations in the country. Beyene stated that it would rather enable the diplomats to promote digital diplomacy apart from that of the conventional diplomacy. Deputy head of mission at the Ethiopian embassy in Canada, Laggese Geremo, said on his part that the training would equip the diplomats with the knowledge to accomplish their mission and ensure the national interest of Ethiopia. He noted that it further provides opportunities for the diplomats to deeply understand the existing realities of the country and explain the objective situation in the country. Laggese stated that training is of paramount importance to continue enhancing the existing diplomatic activities.
According to scholars, Joe Biden's executive order, which seeks to impose harsh sanctions against Ethiopia, intends to pressurize the government to negotiate with the terrorist TPLF, and we have Burhan Wargana for the detail.
An executive order signed last Friday by U.S. President Joe Biden authorizes sanctions against parties that are prolonging conflict in northern Ethiopia. Scholars told Ethiopian news agency that the order undermines Ethiopia's sovereignty and it denies the crimes committed by the TPLF to dismember the country. Hawassa University political science lecturer Nugusu Belai said the executive order puts the government and TPLF on equal footing, and this is unacceptable to any one country. According to him, the Biden administration is trying to convey the message that there are two equal governments in Ethiopia and they have equal power. This is an insult to the Ethiopian people who casted their votes last June 2021 for the current government. He noted that the U.S. executive order to pressurize Ethiopia came at a time when the terrorist TPLF suffered great losses in the Afar and Amhara regions it invaded, and the country is preparing to establish a new government. Nugusu added that the timing has clearly exposed the real intention of America that has been serving to save the TPLF and obstruct the establishment of a new elected government. Now, the president has signed an executive order with precondition that the Ethiopian government negotiate with the terrorist TPLF. Beyond that, I think the Americans want to disrupt the establishment of a new government and empower its puppets. Moreover, the executive order does not take into account the crimes committed by the TPLF since November 4, 2020, when the terrorist group unleashed attack on the northern command of the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Kotobe Metropolitan University Law and History lecturer Almao Kefle said this is a desperate effort to save the terrorist TPLF, which is considered an agent for Western powers not only in Ethiopia but also in the Horn of Africa.
We are expecting, and it should be expected because to restore the old regime that has gone in Ethiopia, TPLF, because it is an agent that could run their business in the Horn of Africa. Therefore, as much as possible, they will try to restore it by any cost, by putting a kind of pressure, economic or political, social, cultural pressure on the current Ethiopian government. Therefore, this is something we should never be surprised on what they are doing. We are also expecting something more harsh. They tried a lot by just propagating through their media, by sending their major diplomats that had experience on the Horn of Africa, and they made a number of tricks around the current government. Therefore, we should never be surprised of what they are doing. This is part of their struggle to restore the foregone government, which for a long served their interest in the Horn of Africa.
According to Almao, Ethiopians should not be surprised at the U.S. has been doing. This is part of the effort to threaten the Ethiopian government and revive the conflict enterprise that has long been serving the interest of the West. The lecturer also appreciated Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's open letter to President Joe Biden that reflects the position of the government to defend the national interest and sovereignty of the country. In his immediate response to the executive order, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed wrote, "As a long-time friend, a strategic ally and partner in security, the United States' recent policy against Ethiopia comes not only as a surprise but evidently surpasses humanitarian concerns."
Spokesperson for Ministry of Foreign Affairs of People's Republic of China, Zhao Lijian, said China opposes the U.S. new sanction regime on Ethiopia. In his regular press conference on Wednesday, the spokesperson said China always holds that international law and basic norms governing international relations must be adhered to in state-to-state relations. He underlined China opposes the wanton exertion of pressure through sanctions or the threat of imposing sanctions to interfere in other countries' internal affairs. Furthermore, He noted that the U.S. should prudently handle relevant issues and play a constructive role in restoring peace and stability in the country. The spokesperson stated that Ethiopia is China's important cooperation partner in Africa. He said China believes that the parties concerned in Ethiopia have the wisdom and capability to properly resolve internal differences. It is China's sincere hope that Ethiopia could realize national reconciliation and restore peace and stability at an early date. This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our Thursday update live from Bahar Dar, Ethiopia. Stay tuned. Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, has launched a project that aims at improving the well-being of communities located around Ethio-Kenyan border, and we have Ababa Berhane for the report.
A consultation meeting of representatives from Ethiopia and Kenya was held here in Addis Ababa to discuss the new project, dubbed Moyale Moyale. The 4 million euros project is expected to help improve the livelihood of 1,600 households in the two countries. IGAD's Health and Social Sector Director Fatia Alwan said during the occasion that IGAD has identified 3 projects that enhance cooperation among the countries in the region and support the livelihood of communities across the common borders. She said that Moyale Moyale is one of the 3 projects that aims at improving the well-being of communities located around the border of Ethiopia and Kenya. The other similar projects will be implemented across the common borders between Ethiopia and Sudan, as well as Ethiopia and Djibouti.
This project is very important. Is actually how we can support the livelihood of the borders at the community. And what we have said that we have actually got a first phase from the German cooperation government of 20 million for the first phase. And this 20 million we have actually divided through the KfW, the Bank of Germany, between Ethiopia and Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, and also Djibouti, Ethiopia.
According to the director, some 20 million euros secured from the government of Germany has been allocated for the first phase implementation of the 3 projects, out of which 4 million euros is allocated for Moyale Moyale project. The Moyale Moyale project is expected to benefit 1,600 households from both countries. Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs representative Getu Girma said the project is expected to support migrants, their host communities and other segments. He added that the project will also help to enhance mutual benefits of the people of the two countries by working in collaboration with the government of Kenya.
አላማውም እዛ አካባቢ ያሉ ፍልሰተኞችን ከተለያዩ አካባቢ ወደ ቦታው የሚሄዱ ፍልሰተኞችን ተጠቃሚ ለማድረግና
The objective of the conference is to make migrants and host communities beneficiary. It is obvious that IGAD was making different initiatives so as to benefit the community who live there. So, the conference aims at making additional initiatives and investments in collaboration with the government of Kenya to benefit the people living there.
በትብብር ከኬንያ መንግስት ጋር ለመስራት ያለመ ኮንፈረንስ ነው።
Representative of Kenyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Johnny Andrew, pointed out that the project will play a crucial role in ensuring peace and stability in the border area by creating communal integration.
This project is very important for the people who live at the border because it will help address immigration issues, help social cohesion, help in peace building, and promote the overall welfare of the communities living at the border.
Ministry of Finance said Ethiopia welcomed the step taken by the creditor committee for a debt treatment under the G20 common framework to enable the timely delivery of the debt operation. Let's get more from the report. The G20 common framework meeting was held successfully on September 16, 2021. In a press conference yesterday, State Minister of Finance Eyob Takaling said the government of Ethiopia has attended a virtual meeting and presented Ethiopia's case on the overall macro reform and the need for the debt restructuring.
We are very, very pleased on the outcome of the first meeting. after Ethiopia had made its case, the creditors committee had a closed session, and the report we got is that they have deliberated on Ethiopia's request and by and large agreed that this is a very important request and need to be expedited.
He particularly expressed gratitude for the work done so far by the co-chairs of the creditor committee, France and China, for their tireless effort to form the committee and the opportunity extended to the government of Ethiopia to attend the virtual meeting and present its request. He said this action will provide liquidity relief from the economic challenges created by the COVID-19 pandemic and help establish the physical space needed to meet Ethiopia's development and social spending needs, while lowering the risk of debt distress rating to moderate by reprofiling debt service. He further reiterated Ethiopia's commitment to work with its creditors to finalize the details of the debt treatment. It was indicated that the steadfast commitment of the government of Ethiopia to implement the nation's homegrown economic reform plan is resulting in a resilient economy with a stable growth path. Ethiopia's Ministry of Finance recognized the important support of the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to Ethiopia's reform process under the Extended Credit Facility and Extended Fund Facility Arrangement programs. The IMF's continued engagement in Ethiopia will be critical as the program supports Ethiopia's economic recovery after COVID-19 related shocks, while safeguarding the delivery of resources to vulnerable groups. The State Minister said the technical assistance by the IMF supporting physical, monetary and financial sector policy reforms have also been highly beneficial in strengthening the performance of Ethiopia's economy.
The extended fund facility component is still active, but to replace the expiring component of the ECF, we've already put a request forward, and now the IMF is working on a new DSA to inform the creditors committee the amount of debt restructuring required to put Ethiopia on a sustainable macro path. As you know, as part of our homegrown economic reform program, one critical agenda we've set for ourselves is to improve Ethiopia's overall debt status and to bring Ethiopia from high debt distress to medium, and the medium run to a low debt distress level.
Despite the technical expiry of the Extended Credit Facility component of the program, the Extended Fund Facility will continue to be active, and it is requested a new Extended Credit Facility arrangement that will give Ethiopia access to concessional poverty reduction and growth-stressed resources, replacing the expired component. Furthermore, he stressed that Ethiopia is working to improve overall Ethiopia's debt status and bring Ethiopia from high distress to medium and medium to low distress level. This is Amhara Media Corporation and you are watching our daily news. And now let's see the foreign currency exchange rate of the day. This is all we got for today. I am Fikrati Zodu and you were watching Amhara Media Corporation. Goodbye and have a nice time.